Welcome to Over a Cigar, Internet Radio's original cigar lab. There we go. Okay. Goddamn settings changed for some reason. Hey, welcome to Over a Cigar. Sorry about the dead air time. Hopefully we didn't lose you in that couple minute there. So, welcome to Is It the End of the World show.
Seems to be that way.
It's scary as shit out there.
Yeah. It's like a silent zombie apocalypse.
I'll tell you. We're going to probably be making light of the situation, but have no fear. We think it is 110% serious as shit. So... just with everybody hunkered in place and keeping their social separations or whatever the term is now.
Just waiting for what happens next. It seems every day is a new kind of restriction or a new kind of thing put in place.
Yeah, I mean, the restaurants and all these big gathering places. We're seeing cigar shops now that the lounges are closed. Yeah. It's all a matter of go in, grab your sticks, or call ahead, and they'll meet you at the curb with them. And
yep. Seems that way. I'm seeing restaurants already. One of my favorite Chinese restaurants that I've been going to for years is just closed down after 30 years of business.
Closed down or just
closed down altogether? They have a message on the door, a message on their answering machine saying thank you for your service. We're sorry, but we're closed forever.
Wow.
I guess I imagine it probably if it takes a few days for you to close down. I don't know what you're doing financially, maybe from week to week, but it's still a big hit. It was a great store.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Is it local?
Yeah, it's local in Chalfont.
Okay.
Yeah. The Gourmet Walk in near the Giant supermarket.
Okay. Yeah, I remember seeing it. I've never been there, but...
It used to be the best sesame chicken I've ever had.
Wow.
No more.
Yeah. Maybe this... I'm hearing people talk about, that... Like, during 9/11, they went after Arabs and Muslims and stuff, and, so I'm hoping people aren't going after the Chinese that are in this country.
I hope they realize, if they've been in this country for so long, they're already American citizens, they're just part of the American community, then really there'd be no reason to having kind of backlash against them. It seems like, now more than ever, everyone has to come together. Yeah. Regardless of your political affiliations, your religious affiliations, your social views.
It's not like they brought it here and they can't get it.
Exactly.
But again, I don't want to get to the political end of things. It's just, everybody's got to realize it's time to band together. As one, between political parties, religions, races, and every other thing, and just got to go at this, as a unified force.
Yeah, we'll get through this.
So, my daughter brought up to me today, and I'm going to forget the woman's name. I just had it in the back of my head. She was a psychic. Okay. And she died, I think, back in 2009 or so.
Sylvia Plath.
Sylvia something.
Sylvia Plath.
Wasn't Plath.
Wasn't Plath?
I don't think so.
No.
Brown? Sylvia Brown?
I might have, yeah. But she, I think...
she wrote a book.
Yeah.
And she forecasted a big epidemic in 2020.
In the early 2020s, yeah.
That people would die, and then it'll disappear quickly, and then reappear in 10 years.
And then that'll be it. After it reappears, it's gone.
So, she got this part right.
Yeah.
That's
It's kind of
Sylvia
spooky.
Brown. Yeah, I think
Sylvia Brown, is it?
I think it is.
Okay.
So, but it's pretty fucked up.
Uh-huh.
So, but the state stores here in Pennsylvania is shut down.
Yeah, it's probably doing gangbuster business though for the supermarkets. I was there today, and there's at least 100 people there, even though you should have no more gatherings of no more than 10 people. Mm-hmm. Some people wearing gloves, some people wearing masks. I saw one guy in Doylestown in a full-body hazmat suit.
Really?
Yeah. He wasn't taking any chances.
Wonder where he bought that at.
I know. Only problem is he didn't have the air filter tank inside, so it's kind of like useless if you don't have the air filtration tank.
Yeah, if you don't have that, you're sucking in a volume,
Yeah.
Concentrated air.
So it doesn't really matter. It's just you're just locking all the virus inside the mask with you.
Well, you're wearing gloves today.
Well, yeah, just to be safe, touching a lot of surfaces and everything. And
that makes more sense to me than the mask. They're telling you the masks. If you have the virus, it'll stop you from spreading it. But if you don't have the virus, it's not going to stop you from getting it.
Not at all. There's like a certain mask, like an N95.
Yeah,
they can pick up nanoparticulates or something like that. But you're not getting those. They're all for the states and the federal governments now.
Yeah, actually, I saw something came across my email from my old chiropractor that down the road from here, Abington Hospital, is running short on masks and gloves and stuff.
Wow.
And they actually said if you have any by chance, and you can spare them to donate them to the hospital.
Yeah, they have construction companies who are donating their industrial masks to hospitals now.
Okay.
Yeah, so everyone's pitching in, I guess.
Good. It's good to see.
What happens.
Yeah.
There's also a possible treatment on the horizon that looks to be very promising, hydroxychloroquine.
Yeah, they used to use it for malaria.
And for aggressive arthritis. And apparently several studies out of Stanford has a group of, I think it was like 40 people, and they cured 100% of them.
Yeah. And if they give it to someone who doesn't have it, somehow they can't get it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it lessens it to nothing.
Yeah. And the great thing is it's been approved for so long, so it doesn't have to worry about going through any kind of phase trials or anything like right now.
The trick is how much do we have in supply?
Well, so much can we make also?
Yeah.
And a lot of our...
can we make it in this country?
That's the thing also. 95% of our infrastructure was over in China, I believe.
Yeah, that's a concept that has come to light that I hope we're going to change is, when was it a good idea to let your enemy make your medicine?
When, God, I imagine, when they just saw the dollar signs, how cheap it was to, you'd have a guy over here, you'd pay him $15 an hour, but over in China, you pay him less than $3 an hour.
In pharmaceutical, if you're paying you pay more than $15 an hour to a guy pushing a broom. You're probably paying $45 an hour.
That's true, yeah.
And, that's the problem. Is we complain about the price of medicine now. So, but anyway, so we're smoking tonight some Padrones.
The Padron 4000 with a natural wrapper.
Yeah, and we're drinking some Glenfiddich 14.
Yeah.
So, it's if this is the end of the world, we're going to go out with a little bit of style.
Not bad, a 14-year-old single malt.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's
I added a little bit of water to mine just to slightly take on the bite, and it's a very nice, very nice.
Very smooth. Again, you're not going to get the smokiness out of this. It's not that kind of scotch. No. It's not a scotch from Islay, which I am a fan of Islay. My dog's outside the door again.
Just waiting to be a guest.
I think she thinks she's part of the show. But, and again, Padrones, my favorite cigar.
Yeah, it's hard to find a bad Padron. I mean, every Padron I've ever had was great.
Mm-hmm.
They're never plugged. They burn pretty evenly. They're just the flavor is always consistent.
Yep. Yeah. They're beautiful construction. The draw is. I always use the Padron draw as the gauge for everyone else.
Oh yeah, it is probably the best draw in the entire industry. I had another AJ today, and it seems like he's trying to pack as much transitions and as much curveballs as he possibly can into one cigar. It was a Ramon Alaniz.
Not familiar with that one.
Yeah, and it's like you feel it's like a solid, almost like concrete underneath. So just trying to get a draw to that thing was just, really reminiscent of a Cuban cigar as far as the tightness of it.
Wow.
It was a good cigar, just hard to.
Yeah.
You're basically a second set of lungs to pull through it.
Yeah, can you crack that window a little more behind you? Get some. Yeah, okay, that's good. Yeah, I have the stoppers on. That's fine. But so you're working from home, right?
Yeah. It just started this week actually. They were trying to hold back as long as they could, but once the governor gave the order to shut down all non-essential businesses and offices, that was it.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to have that option. Some people don't have that option.
Yeah, like what I do in sales, I sell heating stuff. I sell fireplaces and gas stoves and wood stoves and shit.
Yeah.
So we fall into a little category there of essential because we supply heat.
Yeah.
So my boss is keeping us open, and that's fine because my boss doesn't give us much vacation time at all, and doesn't give us any sick time.
Oh, really?
So he's so it's one of those things. He told us you can take off if you want, That's up to you. He has no problem with that. Your job will be there, but you're not getting paid for it unless you take any PTO time you have.
Makes sense. What measures is he taking for like sanitizing places and stuff like that?
We have a couple bottles of hand sanitizer on the desk. That's about it.
That's about it. Yeah.
He's not there most of the time, so he doesn't care.
Okay, yeah. How's the traffic going in and out?
Very, very, very light.
Oh, okay.
If we get 4 customers in a day, right now, it's a busy day.
What was it used to be?
This time of year, 10, 15.
Oh, jeez.
This time of year.
Yeah.
It slows down. There's, people aren't thinking. The people we would get in now are more interested in, this summer I'm going to be adding an addition to my house, and I want to put a fireplace in.
Sure.
So they come in browsing. But right now, we're not getting anything.
Yeah, everyone's worried about their mortgage payments and everything now. What's going to happen?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. I'm panicking because the state stores and the cigar stores are closed, but,
Oh, that might be next. See what happens. The state stores are all closed down, so people are going to the grocery stores and the bars are only doing takeout service with the beer.
Well, the state store is talked about, and I don't know if they followed through, about doing home deliveries.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
So, but when I went to their website, I went to their website just to look for something, see if they, when they opened, if they carried this one thing I found, and the whole site was down. They took it down, just have a warning up, we're closed because of this coronavirus. Wonder if it's hurting the Corona beer business.
You see a lot of memes online about that now. A bunch of Heinekens, backed into a corner, and then they're all wearing a surgical mask, and then one Corona beer in front of it. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I'm hoping. Here's a positive. Let's hope that maybe out of this dilemma, that like a new form of businesses and stuff will start. I think we're going to take a hit. You're going to see a lot of restaurants close. The poor waitresses and bartenders and waiters and cooks.
Yep.
They're, especially the waitresses and bartenders, are taking a serious hit.
Living on tips.
Yeah, most of those people work for tips.
Yeah.
And even I used to sell cars years ago, and that was commission only. And I just think people right now are like, I'm not, hey, I don't know what my job holds.
Yeah, Jesus. So, they should be climbing the walls and some of them. That's horrible.
So everybody doing that. But, and again, a real quick thank you to first responders, nurses, doctors, truck drivers, the grocery store people, that are trying to keep, the madness at bay.
Yeah. They really are taking the extra risk for everyone else, and it's really appreciated.
Yeah. So here I got some questions for you.
All right.
These are kind of based on this kind of scenario we're on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So, what would you rather hear? Good news or bad news first?
Bad news first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just so you get out of the way first. And then,
Hopefully the good news lightens the load a little bit.
Yeah. Hopefully.
That's like, of course, it depends how, with the severity of each. Well, the bad news is, your family was just wiped out. The good news is, hey, taxes aren't due till May 15th. It's like, it doesn't really offset the other one.
I gotta imagine that most people want to hear the good news first, though.
I don't know.
How about you?
Bad news first.
Yeah.
Get that pill out of the way.
Just want to get out of the way, yeah. Just want to hear about it.
Just get the bad pill down, and then you sit there and hope that the good news lightens the load from the bad news, So, but
do you see all those people out there in Florida on spring break?
Millennials, man. What am I tell you?
The governor didn't close the beaches down until after spring break.
But here, I've also heard that the warmth and sun helps kill off the virus.
That's what I'm wondering, because there was a similar coronavirus called MERS, which was Middle East Respiratory Syndrome or something like that. That they think was a vector from camels, and that actually thrived in the heat.
Okay.
So I don't know. Hopefully,
there's too many unknowns still.
There are too many unknowns. You're basically learning something new every single day now going on. This hydrochloroquine was a really bright spot. So hopefully that'll work.
Yeah, I was listening to the radio today, and they started talking about that. I didn't see the president's talk at noon, but it's like, wow, that's a bright spot.
Yeah, they're cutting a lot of red tape in the FDA to push these clinical trials really faster. And I think they have, in addition to hydroxychloroquine, they have 2 other ones that might be a possible game changer. So they're tracking that.
Okay. Hey, a little bright spot. I mean, this used to happen to me all the time when the show was prior. Got contacted by a company called Cuban Seed Cigars on Instagram.
Oh, okay.
And the gentleman is going to mail us some cigars that we'll smoke on a show, and we'll have him call in, and we'll do a little interview with him on the show.
Oh, that's awesome.
And tell him what we think of his cigars.
It's great to hear from people from the industry. That's fantastic.
So it's, again, it's kind of what we used to do before, and it's, already starting in a few short weeks.
It's all that.
But, okay, here's one for you.
All right, let's hear it.
So, who are 3 people you want on your team if there was a zombie apocalypse?
Oh, Jesus. Like 3 people like in the history of the world or like in fiction?
Whatever. You can answer however you want. It could be famous people. It could be fictional people.
Right.
It could be people from the past.
I'll take George S. Patton, the general. I guess fictional. The guy, I don't really watch the show that often, but I saw him a few times. Negan on The Walking Dead. A guy like that. And then, I don't know, someone who really knows how to work a flamethrower.
Yeah, see, I would go with, like, Chris Kyle.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
The sniper.
Or the sniper, yeah, the Navy SEAL sniper.
Yep. And then there's a guy I watch on YouTube, Matt Best. He's ex-Special Forces, too. And then it would probably be one of the many other Special Forces guys, That's like,
It makes you wonder if there's ever going to be like, you see so many different variations of zombie movies on TV. Mm-hmm. If there ever could be some sort of pathogen, like maybe a rabies pathogen or something like that can cause.
I would never say never.
Yeah, because you see like those brainworms, for example, that affect like moose. It causes them to just like walk in a circle.
Look at mad cow disease.
Yeah, mad cow disease. Yeah.
If something like that was to hit humans,
Yeah.
I mean, but there's just something. So we went to the grocery store last Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And we went bright and early, my wife and I, bright and early in the morning, and it was complete devastation. We were there at like 6:30 in the morning. It literally looked like a fucking tornado went through the store,
really?
But the structure was fine, but the interior was a complete fucking
like a
waste.
neutron bomb hit there.
It was a wasteland.
Yeah.
Now, my wife and I have been prepping. We're not true preppers, but we've been remotely prepared.
Sure.
So we just went to do our normal bi-weekly shopping. We didn't go to stockpile anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm walking through the meat counter. No beef at all. No chicken at all. Pork? You name the kind of pork you want, it was fucking there.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. But, and there's, there's, I'm going to say 15, 20 people in the store in general.
Mm-hmm.
And you had the people also working there, stocking shelves, whatever. But I got down to the refrigerated section of the meat area, and I got to the one cabinet, and there was bacon. Tons of bacon there. So I turned around, put my hands in the air, I said, don't worry, we're all going to be okay. There's still bacon.
Like God's personal food.
A bunch of people were in the meat aisle started laughing. And one guy's like, yay! We have bacon, we're going to make it. So apparently, pork products are not the cure to this thing. There's no toilet paper, no paper towels, no bottled water. But I don't get the concept of why no toilet paper.
What are you going to do?
This virus doesn't make you shit yourself.
I know.
It's like...
It's not like dysentery or something like that.
No. It doesn't make you have a runny nose, so you don't need tissues. So, again, it's like... I don't understand...
and there's like fist fights breaking out when they have cops guarding like the pallets of toilet paper, only one pack per person. Mm-hmm. I have you can't eat it. You can't wrap it around your head as some sort of prophylactics. You can't... What are you going to do with it? I don't understand.
And the toilet paper manufacturer, we run 24 hours a day anyway.
Yeah.
So there's always going to be toilet paper.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to, stockpile. The water companies aren't shutting down.
No. And you have a stove, you can always boil your water. I'm pretty sure there's always going to be there's power so far that seems to be a critical kind of, infrastructure that we're not going to lose.
I have a bigger fear of losing electric because I have a well.
Oh, yeah.
So I can't get water. It's not like public water where it's always going to be there. I have a well.
Good point. Do you have a generator?
Yeah, but I have to get my pump hooked up where I can plug in to override it, like for a switch. I just don't have the money to pay an electrician to do that just yet.
How's the quality of the water in the well?
It's good, but it had a lot of minerals and stuff in it.
Yeah.
We actually got a reverse osmosis filter put in.
Okay.
So now it's crystal clear and delicious.
Oh, fantastic.
You know, I mean, I have cases of bottled water that I've been saving up for a long time.
Smart, I can see that. Smart.
There's some here, I got some in the house.
Yeah.
But that's in case the electric goes down for now.
I mean, like nowadays, it really kind of makes you think about like, what are my plans if I had to like bug out? Like, what, like how am I prepped? Am I prepared to just get in my car with a satchel of whatever? And
That's one of the reasons I bought this house. Is it's defendable.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you have the high ground.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I can defend it. I'm just going to put it that way. I have a freeze dryer. I've freeze dried over 3 to 4 months worth of food already.
Mm-hmm.
I have food. I have water.
Yeah.
And I have other things to make sure I have water and food. I had Graham, the guy who used to be on the show before, he was supposed to be here tonight, but he wound up, since he's now working from home, he's got a meeting with the CEO on the phone tonight and about now, and so he couldn't make it.
Yeah.
But, when I had bought the freeze dryer and I bought some of the other things I own and stuff like that, he was like, wow, and he said, oh, that's pretty smart. But on Sunday he came up and had a cigar with me, and he's like, he said, I gotta be honest, he says, kind of laughed at you a little bit behind your back with that. And it's like, it's just a lot of overkill. He says, who's got the last laugh now?
Yeah. Jeez.
Even my daughter, her and I were talking again today, and my oldest one, and she's like, Dad, you always talked about what if there's a natural disaster, what if there was terrorist attack or whatever, and you always said you got to be ready for this.
Yeah.
And I said, let's hope that the economy starts an upswing. If the economy for some reason gets worse, and we get into a tragic mode where you talk about a restaurant, well, if grocery stores start closing, companies that are trucking companies start closing, okay, food shortages are going to happen. And people who live in the cities will tell you there's already not enough grocery stores in the city.
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
The average grocery store only carries enough food for the local community for about 1 to maybe 2 days.
Mm.
And you saw already how they just became overrun instantly.
Yeah.
Okay? So when the stores don't have food, I hate to tell you, the government doesn't show up within 2 hours with the food truck for you.
No, not at all.
Okay? You're going to wait days for food. People from the larger congested populations are going to come looking for food.
Yeah. They'll be riding in the cities, and then they'll start spreading out towards the suburbs to see what they can find.
Yep. And, I'm not trying to push fear. I'm just trying to tell people, wake the fuck up. I've told more people than not, you know what, when you go grocery shopping, buy 2 extra cans of corn, buy 2 extra cans of beans, buy extra box of spaghetti. Put it someplace and forget you have it.
Yep.
Buy a case of water, forget you have it. You can always eat it or donate it later or whatever you want to do. But have it, because a hurricane comes, a blizzard comes, we get an ice storm that knocks down power or whatever. Yeah. I have a wood stove in my house and a pellet stove. Pellet stove's worthless if electric goes out. Wood stove, always burns.
Always there.
And I can cook on top of it,
We've had it just seems like, we've obviously taken this for granted for so long, our way of life, our quality of living. And just the smallest thing, really puts us to the test. And then you see, really, what the mettle you have is, how you can pull yourself through this, and then, where this is going to go.
Separates the men from the boys.
It really does. It really does.
And, I told my daughter, I said, the freeze dryer I bought was $2,600.
Yeah.
I could have spent that $2,600 on something a lot more fun than a freeze dryer. I said, but life, most people want to live life right now. And I get that. But, to some degree, you have to look at life like a chess game. You got to look 3-4 moves ahead. Mm-hmm. And hope that your partner doesn't make that move. I wasn't looking for a virus. I wasn't looking for a natural disaster. But you know what? God forbid it happened. I want to be prepared.
Yep.
I know I can feed my family, and I know I can defend my family.
Yep, absolutely.
And, worst case scenario, if I was to die today, my family could sell my stuff and make money, you know? Especially now. I went into the gun store the other day to buy some ammo. I called ahead. I said, here's the 2 calibers I need. Do you have any? He goes, the 1 caliber, he says, I'm sold out. He says, I have 3 boxes of ammo left total, and it's in the caliber you're looking for. I said, put them aside. I'm coming there. I'll be there in 10 minutes. I got there. I walked in. 2 of them were for deer, and the other one was for target shooting.
Yeah.
I said, I went to deer once. I just bought those 2 boxes. But there was a gentleman who walked in behind me. He goes, I'll take that other box.
Oh, Jesus.
He was officially out of ammo. He had 8 rifles left in his selection. He had no guns except for these 8 rifles.
That's what I'm worried about, because I'm thinking about now in this weekend maybe going to the store to buy a gun. The first time purchaser, and have I waited too long?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have.
Probably have. Yeah. So when the horde comes,
Every gun store I passed today,
yeah,
like there's one by a cigar shop there, it looked like they were giving shit away. The parking lot was packed, and It's not a big space.
Oh man.
You might be able to go get a musket.
Well, what about like a shotgun at Walmart, for example? Maybe that's
Walmart doesn't sell guns anymore.
I thought they started selling guns again, or is that Cabela's?
Cabela's.
Oh, okay. God, why would they stop selling guns? Is this? I mean, at a time like this now,
Because there's too many people that want to sue. If someone goes and kills someone or hurts someone with a gun, they don't want to blame just the person who pulled the trigger. They want to blame, well, okay, you bought it at Walmart. It's a Remington, so I'm going to sue Remington. I'm suing Walmart. They're going down the line. They're getting everybody they can, and and it's not right.
But if a person buys a car, for example, and they go and they plow into a field of crowded people, you're not going to sue the dealership. You're not going to sue the car manufacturer. I mean, it's like if a person wants to do something nefarious, they're going to do something nefarious.
Yeah, well, it's always been if people want to kill people, they're going to do it. Doesn't matter by what means. I'm not arguing a gun is an easier way of doing it, but if you want to kill someone, you're going to find a way.
Go out there with a crossbow. That's just as...
I can kill you with a spoon.
Yeah.
Flip the spoon around, use a handle, jab it through your throat. Or your heart, into your chest, whatever. I mean, if you want to kill someone, people have taken trucks, drove over people in France. They did it in New York. It's a sad state, but if people want to kill someone,
and the majority of handgun deaths are actually suicides, and they're actually through handguns, not through assault rifle, the so-called assault rifle, whatever that means. Or
assault rifle is a convenient term, and in general, they wanted to define a assault rifle as if it looks like it's a military weapon. So that's why they're going after the AR-15.
And there's no
the caliber, the .226 or .553, is been around for a long time, even in bolt action. They're going after a gun that looks like a military weapon and that can hold a high capacity magazine.
Which is insane, because there's no military on Earth that would go into battle with the AR-15.
No.
It'd be just like a slingshot to them. So I mean, it's maddening sometimes.
No, we don't. You could use an AR-15. There is a tactic in war to injure your opponent, not kill them, because people will step over a dead body and not worry about to keep the fight on.
Yeah.
But it takes more people. If you injure someone, it takes 2 or 3 people out of the game to try to take care of that injured person.
That's true.
So that was one of the adage why they don't use hollow points in war. They use full metal jackets. It goes through someone, and it can go longer distances. And then, again, now you have 2, 3 people trying to take care of this person. So you've got 2 or 3 more people besides the injured one or passed away one that are out of the fight.
That's true. I haven't thought about that. That makes sense.
Yeah. But but it's not a hunting round. I mean, it is for varmint. If you're shooting groundhogs,
it's a sporting rifle, basically.
Yeah. And just because of the way it looks doesn't mean anything.
No.
And we have to look at, okay, if they want to classify that, what are they going to classify next as an assault rifle? You know what? I would rather be shot with an AR-15 than a 12-gauge shotgun.
Jesus, yeah. Absolutely.
I have rounds for my 12-gauge shotgun that will go through a vest.
Easily.
Okay?
Yeah.
An AR-15.
Shoot through walls.
Yeah. Yeah, I can shoot through a wall and get to you.
Yeah.
And a 12-gauge with the right combination of ammo in it, you will not only kill someone, you will tear them apart.
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
Shoot an AR-15 through a pumpkin, and then shoot a 12-gauge with, triple odd buck through a pumpkin.
Mm-hmm.
With the AR-15, you just have a hole going in and out of the pumpkin. It might break it a little bit, but with a 12 gauge, you don't have anything but puree.
You, yeah.
Even
birdshot at close enough range can shred you.
Mm-hmm.
So. But no, they want to keep on going after that. I mean, like I said,
at this point, with everything, not knowing where things are going, I'm hoping more people wake up and go, no, you're not taking my guns.
Oh God, I mean,
because if things get worse and it goes into a bad direction, this end of the world scenario kind of thing that I'm trying to make a joke about here, it's like you're going to need something to defend yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, if I had my way, I'd have every person who was of legal age to own a weapon. They'd own a weapon. That's one of the foundations of this country. It's not only against protecting of yourself; it's also protection against a government that might turn tyrannical. Yeah,
that's what the Second Amendment was all about. Now, I get my background checks done. I have a carry permit, so I have the FBI fingerprinting and photographs and everything else. I am not opposed, personally, that especially if you have a permit to carry, that you should have to pass a test.
No, you shouldn't have. But even taking fingerprints, I mean, that's required for a concealed carry?
Yes.
That shouldn't be required. I mean, it should be... I mean, I don't want the government knowing... I mean, I'm trying to sound like a tinfoil hat kind of guy, but I wouldn't want the government knowing what I have. I don't think that's any of their business. It'd be more like, it's for my own protection. It's for my own peace of mind.
You can know what I have, but you're not getting it.
Yeah.
One of us is going to die.
They know where to come to, and when they look to seize the weapons.
Yeah.
So
I'm not. I don't do anything wrong, so I'm not worried about it. The same as we talked about, I think the other week about, the old, the thing after 9/11 where people worry about them eavesdropping on your phone conversation stuff. They're doing it. Well, the thing about it or not, my theory is, what am I doing that if they want to listen to my conversation and be as bored as I am talking, then hey, listen, I don't give a fuck. Have fun.
Yeah. We're talking to the wiretap 24/7 these days.
Yeah, I mean, hell, we're broadcasting what we're saying now. It's out there for free for public,
Yeah.
So my theory is, if I was doing something wrong, I wouldn't be doing something they could listen in on.
That's a good point, yeah.
If I'm doing something wrong, I'm not going to go get a gun legally.
Mm-hmm.
It's a proven fact, like 95% of the guns used in crimes are not legally obtained.
And that's the thing also. They plan on stripping the weapons, or they want to strip the weapons from law-abiding citizens.
Yep.
I mean, that's not going to stop a criminal from obtaining a firearm.
No, and that's I've said that all along.
Yeah.
When Prohibition existed, they took alcohol from all the legal citizens. Who had the alcohol? The criminals.
And the mob just blew up. They expanded, and then that led to Vegas eventually.
Mm-hmm. Well, think of it this way. Okay, let's pretend they come through your neighborhood, sweep every house, take guns out of every house. I'm now a criminal. I know they came through your neighborhood yesterday. I come in, I have a gun. It's not legal.
Yeah.
Okay, I bought it off of some dude in the corner, right?
Yep.
I now know I can go to every house in your neighborhood, rob and kill if I so desire, and no one's going to be able to stop me.
Stop you, exactly.
So, the bullshit of this whole thing, again, we're not supposed to get political, we're bordering on it, is to take the guns from the law-abiding citizens. All you're doing is empowering the criminals.
That's it.
Because they don't care. They're criminals. They break the law.
Nope, they have no problem with that at all.
You take the gun from legal, law-abiding citizens.
You're making it that much easier for them to harass you and to assault you.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I've ever killed with my guns are paper.
Mm-hmm.
I go to the rifle range for fun, and I shoot the hell out of paper.
Yeah. It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it.
Yep. And I taught my wife how to shoot. I've taught my daughters how to shoot. And every one of them, I've told them before we get there. And when I teach someone how to shoot who's never shot, and even a lot of times I'll do it with people that tell me they've shot, I run them through a test with a gun.
Okay.
I'll put rubber bullets in it.
Okay.
Dummy bullets.
Yeah.
Nothing goes bang.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure they know how to handle it safely before you put something in there. Because a bullet will change someone's life in an instant.
Instantly.
So,
and forever.
I will kid around anytime except when I'm handling a firearm. No joking there.
Yeah.
Everything happens too quickly.
Yep.
So, and I've told, where I was going with this originally was, I told my wife and daughters when I taught them to shoot, you're going to find target shooting very, very relaxing. And they're like, huh? They get done shooting. My wife's like, oh my God, it's like getting a massage. She goes, I feel stress-free. Because, when you're shooting at the target, it's like golf to me. It's a game against yourself.
Yeah.
You might think you're competing against someone else, but no, you're competing against yourself. Mm-hmm. You're trying to do better than you did last time, or the best you've ever done. And, so at the point when you're, looking downrange and you're concentrating and everything else, and you get used to the bang and the kick, and you're learning how to hone it in to hit where you want it to hit, everything else that's bothering you disappears. Mm. You're not worried about bills you owe. You're not worried about your job. You're not worried. You're concentrating on that. Yep. And again, the reality of that, you have this thing. You're sending a little projectile downrange that could kill something.
That's true. Now, in a normal situation where a gun is going to be required to defend yourself and your family, they're not going to just sit there like a target. So they're going to be moving around, whatever. How do you adjust for that? Are there ranges that have movable targets?
Yeah. Yeah, there's more and more. A couple of ranges I go to will not let you do that. They're a stationary target.
Yeah.
But there are some new ones around here that actually teach, and they teach more with laser type gun.
Yeah.
Until they see how good you are and what you can do,
mm-hmm.
and then they'll move you to a live round. So.
When did you buy your first gun? How old were you?
19.
Oh, that young.
Yeah, I've had my carry permit since I was 20. Mm. And yeah, I'm very, very good with a gun.
Oh, it's good to be good with a gun.
The guys at the one range I go to are either ex-police or ex-military.
Okay.
And when I go there, and I don't go, unfortunately, I used to go back in the early 90s. I was working in Center City, Philly a lot, subcontracted.
Yeah.
And I would carry. That was why I got my carry permit. And so I would go to the range a minimum twice a week. Ammo was a lot cheaper then than it is now. I mean,
yeah.
I could go get a box of ammo for $8, $9, of 50 rounds, where now that same box is $30, $35.
Really?
So yeah, so it's a little more not as efficient, not as cost efficient to go and do it. But yeah, so when I go to the range with my wife, the guys will come out. They have a range officer to walk around inside and make sure everybody's doing fine. And I like to watch my wife shoot, and stuff. So and then she'll start talking with them about it, and then I'll get them shooting. And every time they're like, I shoot silhouette targets. I don't shoot circle targets.
Okay.
Just what I want to do.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying it's what I want to do. And when I shoot the silhouettes on paper, I shoot the head. But God forbid I ever have to use it in self-defense. I'm shooting the chest.
Absolutely. You want the wider target.
My theory is if I can hit small in practice, I can hit big in time. So, and I can bore a hole the size of a quarter in a head at 25 feet.
Oh, damn.
Okay, most gun battles happen, they say, within 8 feet.
Yeah.
But I'll sit there and just rattle off the 13 rounds and just tear a quarter hole, And they're like, who the fuck taught you how to shoot?
You ever practice the speed of your draw?
No. But they won't let you in most places. And I don't have access to an outdoor range. And even if I did with that, I would still practice probably with rubber bullets.
Yeah, that makes sense.
For a while, just to make sure, because you don't want to shoot your foot off.
Yeah. Do these ranges have memberships?
Mm-hmm. If you shoot enough, it pays.
Yeah, obviously.
My wife and I had a membership for a while, and then finances got tight, and we figured it out. We had to go, 10 times to pay for it, throughout the year or something like that, and we were somewhere around 20 times. So.
Oh, geez, yeah, pays for itself.
But it was a nice bonding thing too. But
it really is. Yeah, it really is. Bring your partner along. Yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, I've taught both my daughters. They enjoy shooting. I taught my son-in-law. My son-in-law was funny too, and I taught him how to shoot and everything else. And then I would shoot. He's like, "Yeah, I better stay on your good side."
How long, when you first started shooting, did it take you to really get your aim down?
Not long. I've always been very good with weapons like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could pick up a crossbow, I could pick up a bow and arrow, whatever. I mean, I hadn't shot a shotgun. I had sold my shotgun and hadn't shot one in over 10 years. And got invited to a friend of mine to a sporting clay competition where it's like a golf course.
Yeah.
And it comes through the woods at you in different angles and stuff. And this was a $200,000 a year country club for this.
Oh, jeez.
Up in North Jersey. And so I didn't have a shotgun, so I had to borrow his. And he had a vest with a padded shoulder. I didn't.
Oh.
And you shoot, what would that come out to? It's 18 holes, 3 rounds each. So whatever that comes out to. It's like 100 rounds.
Okay.
I had a bruise the size of a football on my shoulder at the end, but after about the second or third, I call it hole, fuck. That was so much pain. So we got done, and I thought I did pretty well.
Yeah.
I mean, even my buddy who says he's ex-special forces, I still can't confirm nor deny that. He's like, he's another one, because I went shooting with him one time with the pistols, and he's like, who the fuck taught you how to shoot? So we get to the banquet afterwards. I just had fun. I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And they were announcing the prizes. First prize, whoever it was. Second prize, Vince. I went, what?
Yeah.
It's like, I took second place. I shot, out of 100 rounds, I shot in 92.
Jesus Christ.
So.
Well, your golf game was that good.
Yeah, if only.
God.
But, yeah, it was.
You see those, it's also about how you hold it also. You see those videos on YouTube where people are first timers shooting at a range or something like that, and they have the gun like right in front of their face, and they shoot it, and boom, comes right back in their chin.
Yeah, well, and it's one of the first things. After I teach safety, I teach how to hold it properly, which is also a safety thing. But, yeah, a lot of people, like the other day I had my daughters here, I was teaching them to shoot a crossbow.
Oh, nice.
I have 2 of them. And, they're holding it the way you're saying. It's almost like on their chest plate they're holding it. It's like, no, it goes in the pocket here in your shoulder, and, lay your chin down on it. But,
do they have like adjustable stocks and for different people, like length of their arm? Some might have shorter arms than others.
Yeah, my AR and my 12 gauge shotgun both have folding butt stocks that they telescope out. So same as they make left-handed, right-handed guns.
Do they? I didn't know that. What's for a first timer? What would you recommend for like a handgun, a rifle?
For a handgun, go to a range first. Shoot a 22. They're going to ask you to shoot a 22 too. The hardest part of shooting a handgun first is getting used to the bang.
Yeah.
That's the part that's going to be the most upsetting part.
Yeah.
After that, probably a 9mm is going to be, it's got takedown power and minimal kick to it.
Yeah.
Another great round, it's a little more, and again, a lot of people like Glocks. I don't personally happen to be a big fan of Glock, but that's me. Again, there's 700 flavors of ice cream because there's something for everybody.
What do Glocks shoot? What's
Depends. You can get them every caliber.
Okay.
Like I'm a big 40 Smith & Wesson fan.
Okay.
People will tell you that this round sucks. Okay, well but I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. There's nothing wrong. I have 9. I have 40. I used to carry a SP-101, a Ruger SP-101, which is a 5-round 357 snub nose.
Yeah.
2.25 inch barrel
Nice
snub nose.
Yeah.
It would bark a flame out the front about 15, 16 inches. But you could shoot 38 rounds through it.
Yeah.
38 round is a very manageable round. Cops used to carry it back when cops carried revolvers. That's what they carried. And that was my first 2 rounds out of the gun were 38s, and the rest were 357s, because I figure you want that control the first couple rounds, especially if you're not pulling the hammer back.
Yeah.
When you're pulling it all the way through, you're going to pull a little off target, so you want to control it. But but with a 357, I was still really good.
Super deadly.
And my theory was with the 357 is you didn't have to hit the fucking target.
No. because the sound and the flame that barks out the front,
Because the sound and the flame that barks out the front, you know, when you're pulling it all the way through, you're going to pull a little off target, so you want to control it. But with a 357, I was still really good. And my theory was with the 357 is you didn't have to hit the fucking target because the sound and the flame that barks out the front it is going to make whoever it is you're shooting at die because all their bodily fluid is going to rush out their ass. You know, they're just going to drop over dehydrated. You know, and you know it's you know with the 357 you could probably shoot through someone's car door to kill them.
Oh Jesus Christ! Yeah, I'd imagine. What's that gun by Smith and Wesson? Is it the 500? The thing that like you can shoot a tree down. The 300, the 500.
You're talking about a 50?
Is it 50?
50 BMG?
Because I watched this guy on YouTube, Hickok 47.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
He has a kick-ass gun range.
Yep.
And he was shooting one of those things, and then just the kick on that thing, it's like if you don't hold it right, it's going to throw your arm back and throw the gun away.
Oh, well, there's a bunch of guns like that. Yeah, you can get a Desert Eagle.
Yeah.
Which is a 50. And yeah, there's some videos of people shooting different guns, and there's this young girl with a Desert Eagle. It's a big fucking gun, designed by the Israelis, I believe. And she fires it, and it comes back. Thunks her right in the fucking forehead and knocks her the fuck over. I had a guy next to me one day in the range shooting a Desert Eagle.
Yeah.
If you saw the brass that comes out of it looks like little 55-gallon drums. Ooh. I mean, these things are like almost like the glasses we're drinking out of. And these things are ting, 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 ting. And, you know, it's just like, dude, what the fuck are you going to shoot with that thing?
Oh, my God.
You know?
God, what I missed the boat. I'm worried now that they're all going to be out and I'm going to be kind of like left to my own devices without one.
Good chance.
I'll look around. Maybe Cabela's might have a shot.
Yeah, one of the things try. You know, we have some good ones right here. Like, you know, we have some good gun stores, and one of the things is some of the ranges here, like Target World here in Chalfont.
Yeah.
You can rent guns.
Oh, really?
So if they happen to have one upstairs where they sell the guns, go downstairs and see if they have one you can rent or have one similar to it. Mm-hmm. And see what you think of it. But since you've never shot a gun?
Oh yeah, I have.
Okay.
No, I've never shot a shotgun. I shot bolt action rifles, and I shot I think a 22. And
okay.
Yeah.
You know, you want to get yourself a nice 9mm.
Yeah,
probably be the most recommended.
I think also because the Glock is so lightweight.
Well, the beautiful thing about Glock is the parts are easily ready to get. So many people make parts for them.
Yeah.
And you know, 9mm is going to be the most accessible ammo you can get.
Yep.
The cheapest ammo you can get.
Yeah.
Best takedown power. But you know, it's all personal preference. I like the 9. I like the 40 better personally. But you know, it's all personal preference. I mean, you know, you'll find guys that, you know, they want to argue what's the best. Well, best is what you think is the best.
Yeah, whatever works best for you.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. What are you thinking about the cigar pairing with the Glenfiddich?
Well, Glenfiddich goes with just about everything. And Padron goes with just about everything.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. There's no aftertaste of the Padrones. It's smooth.
Yeah, we have a nice smooth Scotch.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't really hit you real hard with anything.
Yeah.
It's just a very enjoyable Scotch, Glenfiddich 14.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Padrones, a solid medium, great draw.
Yep.
So they pair excellent.
God, I'm almost halfway down through my cigar already. It's like they don't even realize how fast I'm smoking. It just goes down so easy.
Yeah, I'm about a third through it. I've been talking more, so.
Yeah.
But let's see here. Would you rather have a rewind or a pause button on life?
Oh Christ! Rewind.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. How far you can go back? Because I'm always nostalgic for, like, you know, I'm one I thought like the 80s was the best decade in the history of ever. Yeah. So I mean, I'm always thinking, like, you know, going back there.
How old were you in the 80s?
Oh, well, I was only a kid in the 80s. I grew up mostly in the 80s. So
when were you born?
77. So
yeah, you were young. Yeah. See, I graduated in '84 from high school.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So the '80s were my time.
Yeah. But I mean, I think it was a time for everybody, for people working, for people who are just graduating from high school, people who are kids.
The music was great.
Yeah.
You know, the
movies were awesome.
Well, the people, the generation that the 80s was, the music and life was all about partying and having fun and having sex. Except for AIDS came around and fucked it all up.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Put a fucking damper on that really quick.
Yeah, right when I determined how to start approaching women and maybe get laid, AIDS comes out. Boom! That put a fucking crusher on it. I'll just put my nuts in a fucking vice at that point.
And that was a huge panic also. I mean, obviously right now a person can have HIV and live forever. I mean, Magic Johnson is practically cured, I think. He just injects his cash into his veins practically.
Well, you know,
but I mean, you can have it now where they're treating it as if it's no longer like a debilitating illness, or where you can just manage.
Yeah,
you have it
and now that you
it.
have a drug you can take to help you prevent from getting it.
Yeah. I've heard about that also.
You know,
because they've been working on vaccines for it. Another vaccines never really taken off, but these preventative drugs really seem to be doing something. You have to be at a high risk, I imagine, to get that. But no one ever really worries about, like back then they used to always worry about AIDS, even, you know, whatever protection you use. But now it's like not even an afterthought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's. I mean, even again, we've talked before about my past in the porn industry, and you know, there are people that have valid concerns about stuff and want to only shoot people if they're going to wear a condom.
Yeah. Well, you have a lot of scumbags back then who also didn't they find out they get it and they don't want to stop working, so they'll just fake a test or whatever, and then they'll just pass it on to their coworkers.
But then they were found out eventually, and they're blackballed.
So more than blackballed, those assholes should be you know.
Well, they should be arrested because they're risking people's lives.
Yeah.
But you know, it's a whole.
Now you have more and more municipalities and places like San Francisco, for example, passing a bill where they decriminalize the conscientious passing of HIV from one person to another. So if you have HIV and you knowingly affect someone else, it's no longer a felony; it's a misdemeanor.
Wow.
How is that even? I don't.
So you get a ticket.
Yeah, basically get a ticket. Another person that's okay. Now, good luck with that. You know, deal with that for the rest of your fucking life.
Yeah, you got to pay for this the rest of your life.
I don't understand. I just don't. I mean, it's just like within one fucking generation of this country, it just seems like you know. And I don't want to like, you know, just call, you know, whatever liberalism or whatever else, you know, that create into politics, but it just seems like within the values within one generation.
Yeah.
You know, just like on its head.
Life seems to be changing so much faster now.
Yeah.
So you would rewind?
Yeah.
To what year? What part of your life? Let me put that instead of a specific.
Do
year.
I still keep my knowledge of what I have right now? Or are you rewinding your knowledge also?
That's another aspect to look at. I mean, I would have to say yes. Yeah. If you could rewind it and change things, where would you rewind it to, and what would you change it to?
God, if I can, so if I rewind it with the knowledge that I have right now, probably going right to college, where I can, you know, spend my first year instead of going to classes and everything, just start working on the next big things, you know, like, you know, the Facebooks or whatever, or those kind of things to kind of like get a jump start on that. Going back all the way back to
sort of like Back to the Future, where he gets that sports book.
Yeah, exactly. Or going back to the 80s, just, you know, appreciating the time you have the family who's no longer with you. You know, like your grandparents, your aunts, your uncles, the extended family. Because I remember being a kid, having large family gatherings, you know, parties or dinners or whatnot. And then, you know, as you get older, they die off, and then that just stops. The family just seems to kind of like, you know, disperse, and you lose touch with that. Mm-hmm. And I think that's something I really appreciate having had when I was a kid that, you know, I kind of miss now.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you?
Well, it's a tough thing for me because, like, if I sit there and go, hey, I'd like to rewind it to the point where I started dating my ex-wife and not date her, but then I sit there and it's like, but I have two incredible daughters.
You gotta go.
You know, it's like, am I willing to sacrifice everything I've been through, the hell I've been through with my ex-wife, to lose my daughters? I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think you'd be able to do that. But you probably know going into it now what to expect, and maybe be better prepared to kind of like counter kind of mood swings.
I have to sit there and go, if I met somebody else and had children, would they be of the same caliber?
Yeah.
You know, so that one's tough for me. I mean, if I had to rewind it for anything, it'd be rewinded to make better career choices. You got to pull the little lever down and then push the button in. Now, underneath that button,
okay,
pull it down with your then you push the button in.
Oh, it's a good match.
Yeah. Well, there's that red light that works.
Oh, yeah, that works too. Use that.
But I would probably make a couple better career choices.
Yeah.
Actually, one thing, I don't know if I brought this up to you before. One thing I did, I was in tech school for drafting.
Okay.
And I excelled in it, and I had a pickup truck in '83. Okay. Maybe it was '84, whichever. And pickup trucks back then weren't what they are today. They weren't $70,000 to $90,000 things. They were just pickup trucks.
Yeah, $15,000 a truck. Basically.
They weren't even that much. You could buy a brand new pickup truck back then for $5,000 to $6,000.
Oh God, the days, man. Jesus.
They weren't double cabs then.
Yeah.
They weren't extended beds. They weren't short beds. They were your basic choices were step side or regular pickup. And then you pick your tonnages. How much weight. But they didn't exist at this point. I sat down and I drew up my plans, and I went to my teacher with plans for bed covers.
Yeah.
These hard bed covers that they have now.
Yep.
And I showed it to him and said, I'm thinking about going for a patent on these. And he told me I'd be wasting my time and money. No one would want them.
God, you'd be a multimillionaire.
Yeah.
It's always those ideas. I've myself or my friends, we had the idea for things like Facebook or for Twitter, these kind of things. It's like, oh, wouldn't this be cool if we were able to do this or do that?
Yeah.
And you never really move on it. You just kind of talk about it, and it just stays there as a pie in the sky kind of idea, and then someone else really acts on it and then makes a huge mint on it.
Yep. The spork tycoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy who invented the spork. I picture this guy on a fucking yacht with a bunch of big-breasted bikini babes on a yacht.
Yeah.
With billions of dollars, and how'd you get your money? I invented the spork, something that costs half a penny to make, that people buy in droves.
In every cafeteria, in every school, in every college,
every 7-Eleven, and
Oh my God. Oh yeah, that's the rewind button. It seems like a pause button would just be doing nefarious shit,
Yeah, I mean, for me, the pause button would work to a degree. I'll be 54 in a couple weeks. What's today? 19th?
Yeah.
Okay, in the 27th, I turn 54.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Early birthday.
But, the other week I actually was reflecting on my life and everything else, and it's like, I'm really happy with myself. I'm comfortable in my own skin. I know my mistakes. I know where I excel. I like myself.
Yeah.
And I don't care what other people think. So for that aspect, the pause button, pause button would be nice. I could maybe spend more time with my daughters without getting older and getting closer to death and everything else.
Well, does the pause button cease you from aging?
It would. I would guess my definition would be a pause button would be like a Groundhog's Day.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, now that movie, that was actually a great movie. They did the math and trying to see how long he was actually in there, and it was for several thousand years he was actually stuck. It was either at least 500 years or at most several thousand years.
Really?
That he was actually stuck in there going over and over and over and over and over.
How'd they come up with that?
There's some mathematician, I guess, from MIT or
See,
something.
that's bullshit because it was he repeated it. I don't know. Let's say 20 times.
Well, that's the thing. You don't know how many times you repeat it because maybe you're not seeing all the times it repeats it.
Then the equation is wrong anyway because you don't know.
Yeah.
That's the unknown factor you can't solve for.
But it was at least a lengthy amount of years that he was actually doing that because he was able to play the piano and become an expert at doing that. He was an expert at sculpting, with his bare hands, and that takes a long time also to master. And he was at a master level.
See, I don't remember the intricacies of the movie, but it's been a long time since I've seen it.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. Bill Murray is a talented guy.
He's an odd guy too, because he'll sneak up behind somebody during a picture, and just photobomb their picture.
Yeah.
Or put his hands behind their eyes, saying, "Guess who?" He isn't doing that on YouTube.
Yeah. I'm told he's very eclectic.
Yeah, he's kind of a really odd kind of guy, but pretty cool.
All right. Again, concept of world's ending.
Okay.
What's the one thing you'll never do again that you've done?
God, never do again that I've done. Ah, Jesus.
I guess the equivalent would be what's your biggest regret in life?
I guess there's some people in my life I've treated, now that I think about it, they're no longer around. I've treated them less than stellar. Maybe I should have treated them better while they were with us. And probably that. I'd probably go back and probably repair those relationships if I could.
Okay.
But now it's behind me. So what can I do about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably it. Really, there's not much I regret in my life.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a hard time thinking of anything.
Mm-hmm. Most of your regrets in hindsight, obviously, maybe the chances you missed out on, like we were saying, the ideas you missed out on, or approaching somebody or not. But
yeah, I tend to think of regrets as something I did wrong.
Yeah.
or like you said, maybe mistreated someone.
Yeah.
And nothing jumps out at me. I'm not saying I'm innocent by any stretch, but I can't think of anything because I really have tried to lead a fair life. I've always had the belief, do unto others as others would do unto you.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing, you know. And you
Took
get
me
back.
a while to get to that point.
It's the same as I won't, as much as I really don't care for my ex-wife. I've really harped on, like, my current wife has some real disdain, and I get it, you know, for her. But I always say, don't wish on someone something you don't want for yourself.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I always say, I hope she gets back whatever she gives out, and that's up for her to determine.
That's the best mindset you can have, I think.
You know, it's if she wants to give out bad, that's on her. If she wants to give out good, that's on her. That's great. You know, but get back what you give out. That way you can learn to appreciate.
Yeah. And I wonder about that because people like Steve Jobs, for example, who obviously did a lot for the field of communication and everything like that, give us these cool little toys. But all reports said that he was just an asshole, just an absurd asshole to be around, a nasty person. You'd be in the elevator with him, and he'd stop the elevator and ask you what you're working on. And if he didn't think you're working on anything special, he'd fire you right on the spot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, people like that. I mean, so I wonder how how they would look back on their lives and thinking towards the end if he ever had any kind of regrets that he was treating people wrong, or maybe he was a sociopath. I don't know. Maybe he didn't have any regrets at all. But
yeah, I mean, there's all sorts. I mean, I've met all sorts of people, and it bothers me. Yeah, when you see people that think so highly of themselves.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a problem I've had with bosses. I had a boss that he was a 6'4" big guy. I'm 6'1" and I'm a big guy. I'm not afraid of anybody, but I'm not also
not looking to cause any shit.
I don't go and get in people's faces, and I don't walk around. I have too much hair under my armpits, and I'm a bear. I'm happy to lumber through life. I really am.
Yeah.
But you come after me or my family, I will stand on my hind legs.
And you're a grizzly.
Yeah. But I'm happy just to fucking lumber through the woods, man. Just leave me the fuck alone. I'm cool with that. And but you see these people that they think their shit don't stink, and they don't know how they treat people. And my owner of my company where I work now, he's like that. He thinks he's smarter than everyone. He thinks he knows everything. He doesn't know how to treat people. And as a boss, you have to understand your people make you your money. Yeah,
it makes you wonder though how they get to where they are if they don't have those kind of people skills or they treat people that well.
The Peter principle, right?
What the what?
The Peter principle.
What's the Peter principle?
You rise to the level of incompetence.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. I guess, if you have the ability to motivate people through fear, sometimes that's also, I guess with Steve Jobs, for example.
Oh, that's where I was going with the story, yeah. But I had this boss who was the president of the company, 6'4", big dude, and he liked to, deep voice. He liked to strike the fear of God into people. Yeah, and every morning we had a meeting where I worked, and, he sat at the head of the table. And as people would filter in, they would fill in the seats furthest away from him. And I know he didn't like me. Yeah. And I didn't have a problem with that. Okay? It's important to me that I know where I stand with people.
Absolutely.
If you think I'm an asshole, tell me I'm an asshole. I'm fine with that. But don't go tell everybody else I'm an asshole if you can't tell me. Then we got a problem. But I would get in, I'd be the first fucking person in the meeting, and I'd go and sit right next to him every fucking day. And it drove him crazy. And one day, one of the engineers there was like, he said, oh yeah, it's not on the schedule yet for Vince's department. And he's like, well, Vince, it's not on the schedule. Why? I said, he didn't give it to me yet. How can I put it? If I don't know the project exists, how do I put it on my fucking to-do list? And he's like, well, what are you, fucking incompetent? I said, no more than you are. He's like, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out of here.
Threw you out of his meeting?
Yeah, threw me, so I'm out, And then after the meeting, I was in the hallway, and he caught up to me, and he got nose to nose with me. He starts chewing me a new ass. And I stood there toe-to-toe with the motherfucker, and I told him, I said, listen, asshole, you don't fucking talk to me that way. You want to talk to me that way, you pull me in your office. If you want to talk to me like that right here in the hallway, you and I can go at it right now. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to fucking kill you right now.
Like the bully mentality where he kind of backs down?
He shut up and he walked away.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
They're
not used to people.
And 2 weeks later he fired me because I couldn't come to work. I had sunburn so bad on my back, I had blisters and stuff, so I couldn't wear a shirt. And so I missed like 2 days of work. He goes, don't come in again. It's like, all right, whatever.
Jesus Christ.
Pay me unemployment. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, it's only going to hurt him.
Yeah, because he had nothing written up on me, so you had to pay me unemployment.
That's right.
But I don't have a problem standing up to people. I've stood up to plenty of bosses.
You have to. You have to stand your ground every time.
People realize, your shit stinks just as much as mine does. You put your pants on one leg at a time. Yeah. It's like you're not anyone special. You're just in charge. You don't run my fucking life.
And the second they realize they can, push you around like that, that's it. They're never going to stop. I mean, it goes down to grade school basically. The best defense against a bully is just to fight them. I mean, win or lose, just to let them know constantly that every time they're going to fuck with you, that they're going to walk away with a little bit less than before.
Yeah, no one wins, but you're going to lose more.
Yeah, that's true.
It's I always said, I might not win the war, but you're sure as hell going to know I was there.
Very good.
And to get respect, you have to give respect.
Yeah. Always treat the way you want to be treated, but also if someone's not treating you in that way, you should be able to to pull them aside or make it known to them that you're not the kind of person who would take that kind of abuse.
Yeah.
What else we got?
What's something you think everyone should do at least once in their life?
Oh shit, that's a good one. Holy Christ.
Have sex with multiple women.
Well, obviously, yeah, that'd be ideal if you can pull that off.
I've done it numerous times.
Oh, there you go.
I've done it like 8 times.
Yeah, be a porn star if you could. And
I did that without being on camera.
Okay.
Would you ever be a porn star?
If I was younger, yeah. I mean, if I can go back, I'd probably try my hand at that. Being younger, it's a young man's game. It seems. I'm pretty old right now.
Now with the amateur porn, anyone can do it.
I'd want to try with the in the actual studio shit. That's what I want to do. I don't want to go with the mainstream if I was going to do it. Give that a shot.
Mainstream's far more invasive.
Well, I mean, I figure if you can fuck on camera like that, you can fuck anywhere, and anywhere.
That's the biggest thing. Again, from my past, guys who think they want to get into porn and everything else, like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They get camera shy.
That's a thing, also.
All of a sudden, when you have to perform in front of somebody else, or multiple people.
And back then, if you were a guy, you usually weren't getting on set unless someone brought you along. A girl brought you along that the director wanted to shoot, or if you're producing your own stuff.
Yep.
But I mean, I'd probably give that a shot when I was younger, maybe 18, 19 years old, see how that goes.
Yeah.
How about you?
Should try at least once. That's a good question. I don't know.
It's a tough question.
Yeah, I mean, I've done a lot of things, but there haven't been extraordinary or like off the.
Yeah.
Again, okay, I've done the multiple thing. That was, which most people would look at me and go, "No fucking way!" But yeah, I got witnesses. Not witnesses. I have girls that would say, "Oh yeah."
Yeah. I mean, it makes it easier, obviously, if you're really good looking and all that kind of shit. But I mean, if you're like a huge personality, a woman would want to fuck your audacity,
Yeah.
She would just want to just because you're.
I don't know. I mean, I'm a big fan of the simple pleasures in life.
Yeah.
Like right now, hanging with a friend, drinking something good, having a good cigar. To me it's a quality of life thing. It really is.
Yeah.
It's the simple pleasures. Going on a cruise, which you don't want to do right now, but going on a cruise or going to the islands, everyone could do that.
Yeah.
It's enjoying the simple pleasures that people don't take the time to do.
They don't. They take everything for granted. Maybe the best answer would be to the one thing you recommend to anybody is to face your fear once in life. Your greatest fear, just face it. I mean, not everyone has these crippling fears or whatever, anxieties, but like the people who do, I think, just stopping and taking it head on once in your life and seeing how that turns out for you will probably be a rewarding experience. Maybe
I guess. I mean, life's too short to be afraid of too much. I mean, like, I guess and I don't have any fears, like I go running from it. I'm afraid of snakes.
Yeah.
But, I try to avoid them.
Yeah.
If I go to the zoo, it's not like I don't go, oh, no, I'm not going into the snake house. Fuck no. I don't have... I mean, the things I've done in my life, between being in the fire company and being in buildings that were fully involved. You feel like a steak in a broiler, man. You got the flames over your head and shit.
Yeah.
I've been trapped, where the roof started caving in, and I've been shot at. I've been...
You were shot at?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. What's that story?
Oh. I used to do land surveying out of high school.
Okay.
And there was this big briar hedgerow. We were surveying this property, and next to it was this farm. And the hedgerow went right up to this fence. This is a split rail fence.
Sure.
So I quick ducked through the fence to walk around, so I didn't have to try to jump through the briars. And come out, and all of a sudden, boom, boom, and I'm feeling things. And I'm looking, and this woman's running across the field with a 12 gauge, pumping them off at me.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, I jumped that split rail fence, dove over the top and rolled, and we had to call the cops. And then another time we were in Trenton doing work, and some lunatic was driving around town. The cops were chasing him. We could hear it, and heard boom, 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 and all of a sudden, oh, this car's coming down the street, and I see a hand out the window, and boom, this guy's just firing a gun out the window. Fucking
shit.
Dove behind parked cars and shit. Yeah.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
God, that must have been crazy.
So.
Maybe the briar patch might have stumbled on a meth lab, and she was trying to protect her business.
No, she just didn't want it developed into housing, which is what they wound up doing. That's what we were there for.
Oh, because you were a land surveyor.
Yeah, she didn't want that chunk of land that she didn't buy developed into houses.
So she was firing a gun that that wasn't even on her property.
I was on her property briefly.
Did you call the cops?
Yeah.
And anything happened there?
No.
No.
Not that I know of.
That's insane, though. Holy shit.
But, yeah, I've had a gun in my face more than once. So, what was the question? Like things you wouldn't do, or things things you would, someone should do once?
Off your biggest fear.
Biggest fears. Yeah. That's what we were talking about. Yeah, and so I don't know. I'm not trying to be macho or whatever the fuck you want to word it as, but I'm not really afraid of anything. Yeah, I get up in front of talk of.
Yeah.
I've talked in front of 1,000 people before.
Yeah.
At conventions and shit. I've talked, public speaking and this kind of we did live shows in front of people and I just I don't know. I
mean, you have the generics ones that I would say, like being buried alive, or like being like I'm not afraid of heights as long as I'm in an enclosed area. But if I'm like those guys who are washing windows in skyscrapers,
yes,
I would know that. That'd be like, or the guys who are like building the skyscrapers, they're walking on the steel and hanging the steel, and like you see.
I'm not petrified of that. I just wouldn't want to do it.
Oh man, like you see those guys.
Because I've done it. Like when I was surveying again, we were doing a new bridge. They were redecking a bridge, and they tore the concrete off, so all it was steel beams.
Yeah.
And actually, to get from one side to the other, you had to walk across the steel beams. So I had the transit on my shoulder. So I used that as guys walk tight ropes. With that. I used it like that to do it.
Oh, that would not be me.
Yeah, and when I was in the fire company, I was a guy that when we go to like elementary schools for fire prevention week, they put the aerial ladder 100 feet up in the air. Mm-hmm. And when it's not against a building, that ladder moves. It goes side to side and up and down. So you're doing this. And you were in full gear, the boots and the coat and the helmet. I had to go up and I'd latch in with a rope and rappel off the end of the ladder. So you had to climb up the edge of the ladder, kind of like drop off the end of the ladder and rappel down.
Oh my God.
And now that ladder is doing this as you go, it's bouncing as you go down. And
that might freak me out. I mean, like just the unenclosed heights, that might freak me out.
Yeah, no, I'm not afraid of heights. I'm not afraid of confined spaces.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of Jill's husbands. No. No, I don't know. I don't think, I mean, even like when I went to court for child support and stuff, I couldn't afford an attorney. I had to face the judge myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not a lawyer.
I want something more existential, like not being able to protect your family when they're in danger. That would be a great fear.
My fear would be more I wouldn't be there to protect them.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
That's more of a fear to me than defending them.
Yeah. Because when you have kids, you never stop worrying about your kids. Even they can be
that was
40, 50 years old.
When your kids get old enough to drive and they're out on their own, you feel helpless.
Yeah.
Because we all know the assholes that are out there on the road, and and there's a fear, I guess, maybe. I have 2 daughters, and the harm that can come to girls. Not that boys can't be.
Yeah.
But you know.
Yeah, it must be greater having daughters than having sons. The fear.
It's a lot tougher.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
You know about
what guys are.
Things that can happen to them.
Yeah.
Be abducted and raped and shit like that. But I don't know. I try to if there's something that I face things head on. Again, I'm not a machismo kind of guy or anything else. I just don't. I just too dumb to be afraid.
So I never had kids, but that would kind of like worry me because it feels like having kids. I mean, I know it's great, but it also makes you vulnerable. You know, I mean, it's like it's a strength that you have a family, but it also could be like you feel helpless sometimes when they're out there in the world, and you don't know what's going on. You know, like off to college or whatever or something like that. Like that's always kind of like would always be a big fear of mine.
Well, it's a fear, but then you have to also realize that at some point they have to grow up and go through what we went through.
Yeah. But do you ever really let go? Like, you never really, as a parent, right? You're always thinking about them. You're always worried about if they're okay, right?
Yeah.
Like,
but you can't let it consume you.
I'm in my early 40s. My mother's she still worries about me. So, I don't know.
No, my mom, yeah. I mean, shit, my mom hears the stories now, stuff I've done and stuff that she wasn't cognitive of, and she's like, you're kidding me. No. She hears some of my drinking stories, and she's like, I didn't know.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah.
Best you didn't know about that, then.
Yeah, it's better off you didn't know. Yeah. But, no, it's... I don't know. I mean, I've lectured... My one daughter has anxiety and stuff issues, and gets that from my ex-wife. And I'm not trying to pick on my ex-wife, but...
Sure, yeah.
And I've struggled to, trying to teach my daughter, attack your anxieties. Don't run from them. You run from them, you cave into it. Mm-hmm. If you're nervous about, like she used to have a problem going into stores, all the people. She had an anxiety that everyone was talking about her. And I experienced it with her. We'd be in a store and she's like, Dad, those girls over there are talking about me. Do you know them? No. Then why do you care?
Yeah.
And how do you know? Well, I see them talking and they look over at me. So, what do you care?
I'm always oblivious to other people in that regard, you know. I mean, maybe I'm a man, but I never feel unsafe in my own skin, you know. Mm-hmm. And I always talk to my female friends, and they're always saying you never know, when you get into a car or a taxi or get into an Uber, or you're walking down the street or whatever. And then she told me something that she said, men are afraid that women are going to laugh at them, and women are afraid that men are going to kill them.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. So that kind of made me think about that, yeah. But I never felt unsafe. Like I could walk down a dark alleyway, by myself. Maybe some people around who are sketchy or whatever. I never felt like I couldn't handle myself. So I couldn't imagine what that feels like. Not being able to feel like you can't handle yourself, or like you have to worry about everyone around you.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's one of those things that you got to be comfortable in your own skin.
Yeah, you really do.
And I've tried hard for that, and and I've told my daughters, my little piece of advice was, you can't worry about what other people think. Mm-hmm. If you do, you're leading their life. You're not leading your own. You know? I mean, there's times I left the house without realizing it. I have sneakers, both pair of brown. They're different. I got up and put one of each shoe on without realizing it. And we were out someplace, my wife goes, you have two different sneakers on. I looked down and went, oh, well.
Who cares?
I'll have a black and a white sock on.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, well.
Yeah.
Shoot, you don't care. Like today, I just realized shortly before you showed up, it's like, I never combed my hair today.
I can't notice.
Yeah, well, I don't care. It's one of those things.
I don't have that problem myself, Eric.
But I don't care. I want people to judge me for me. I don't care what I look like.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not dressing ridiculously or something.
No. I mean, you can, a person might wish you dead, but nothing's going to happen to you. So why does it matter? You know what I mean?
If they want to act on it, that's on them.
That's on them, yeah. And a person who holds that kind of bitterness, or that they hate you, or they want to talk about you, then what the fuck's going on in their own life that they're that kind of sour,
Yeah.
I can't let that bother me.
Yeah, and it kind of gets back to where we're at with what's going on in the world today. It's just like, stop. I'll deflect a little bit. We talked about it when Niall was here. Mm-hmm. Hopefully he'll be back next week.
Hopefully.
Yeah. That we need to stop labeling people.
Yeah.
And stop putting so much value in labels. These people who want to identify something else. It's like, okay, if you don't identify as a man or a woman, whatever that is you think you are, if someone thinks you're a man or thinks you're a woman and calls you sir or ma'am, why? What is so offensive about that?
They freak the fuck out.
If someone by mistake said, "Excuse me, miss," and you said, "No, I'm a guy," are you going to be like, "What the fuck, geez, oh, are you?" It's like, hey, big deal. So what?
You're just going to turn around and smile at them, and they're going to be like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
Yeah, I've been meaning to get this penis cut off. But people are just too uptight. And
people have that, they want to belong. The human nature, you want to belong. You don't want to feel like you're an outsider. So you're going to go along with that's why you have cliques in high school. That's why you have...
I'm happier being on my own.
Yeah.
When I last little semi-reunion I went to, everybody's like, "Oh, Vince." And then they all came over and said hi to me, and then they all went off to their own little cliques again. Mm-hmm. It's like, this is why I don't go to reunions.
Yeah. I've been out of high school since '96, and we haven't had a reunion. As far as I know, nothing's ever been announced. But back home, they still have people who still have those cliques from high school that still, they never kind of like left that kind of mentality, I guess. But if it works for them, that's fine. They're not harming anybody.
Well, my theory now with reunions, and people enjoy them, that's great. But my thought with reunions is, if I really want to hang out with these people, I'd be still associating with them.
Yeah.
And
you move on at a certain point in your life. You just move on.
Yeah, and I knew everybody in high school because I was involved. I was in the advanced classes. I was in Votech school. So advanced classes I was with the brains. The Votech school I was with the druggies. I played sports. So I knew all the jocks and everything else. So I was friends with everyone, but I didn't really hang out with any one major group.
Yeah, you were known. You can kind of like be one who goes in between.
Yeah. I mean, I got invited to the parties and everything else, but I wasn't the one that, it's like, "Hey, Vince, what are you doing this weekend, man?" Like,
yeah.
And I'm happy, and even now. And my wife, by chance, happens to be a person who's very much like that, too. And her and I get along great, and we're happy to just hang out here. Mm-hmm. Our little, staycation spot.
Some people never get that feeling, though. Some people never lose that,
They're looking for approval, I think.
Yeah.
And they want to fit in, and you don't realize you only have to fit into your own life.
Mm-hmm. The only opinion that matters is your own.
When you're worried about, Joe has this, and Bob has that, and they went here, and they went that, I have to do that. And it's like, why? If you didn't want to do that, if you wanted to do it, you would have done it.
What is that, FOMO, fear of missing out?
I've never heard of that one. That's good. Yeah, I don't know. But... I mean, if that's the life you want to lead, that's great. Have fun with that.
Everyone gets old, everyone dies, and there's
keeping up with the Joneses thing.
So much in life, you're not going to be able to do it all.
Yeah.
Just be happy with what you accomplish, You're still here.
Make your own history.
Yeah.
To me, one of the best simple things, like I said, is having a drink and a cigar or chilling or, once it gets warmer out, I'm looking forward to getting my pool open. And
things you really look forward to and appreciate in life.
Yeah. It's simple things.
Yeah.
It really, really is. And with this whole mess going on, people have to learn to get back to helping each other, being good to each other. It's the only way we're going to get through this mess.
What do you think it'll be like when this mess is over?
It's going to be a different world.
It has to be.
What we knew the world to be, let's say November of 2019, and what the world will be in November of 2020 are two different worlds.
It has to be, totally different. It has to be.
And, I had a long discussion with my 23-year-old daughter today, and she's afraid. And I told her, I get it, but I'm not afraid. I'm cautious right now. And you have to just sit back and let it happen. Mm-hmm. There's nothing any of us can do except
out of your control. Just
do what we're supposed to do.
Your own personal measures to protect yourself, but everything else is out of your hands.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but
I mean, this is like a unique thing. No one's ever really experienced this kind of like situation in life since back in 1917 with the Spanish flu epidemic.
And it killed a lot of people.
Yeah.
But the flu kills 30,000 people a year, and no one makes a fuss over that.
Some years it kills 70,000.
Yeah, and no one even brings that number up.
Nope. You just take it for granted. You get the flu, it's like, I'm going to be sick for a week or so. And then
how many people die every year in a car crash from drunk driving?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah.
But you get in a car every day and no one thinks about that.
Never think about that at all.
People panic about taking an airplane ride fewer people die in an airplane crash every year than die in car crashes.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, we don't think about that.
Nope.
You know, and so if you live your life panicking about everything, you're not going to enjoy your life.
It's gonna be a real sad life. You know, you're really sheltered in.
And I'm hoping that this whole pandemic, clusterfuck, whatever you want to call it, is going to generate some real innovation. You know, now, and I've said for a long time, like my wife, I said, there's really no reason you should have to go to work every day.
No.
You should be able to work from home.
Mm-hmm. And it's also cheaper on the businesses because it's less insurance for them to have, and then also less in utilities to pay.
You don't need as big a building.
No.
You know, you're not, you know, everybody wants to complain about the environment. Okay, well, even if you only went into work 2 days a week and you stayed home and worked from home 3 days a week, what's that save you in gas? I mean, you travel a good distance.
And the emissions you're not putting out.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that, you know, fewer fuels being burned, the emissions, the smog, the traffic, the road rage, the insurance, you know.
You might have an effect on the oil industry, but, you know, they'll adjust. I heard that there's a place in Kentucky right now where gas is 99 cents a gallon.
Where?
Kentucky.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Too far to go to fill up.
Not too far. But, you know, eventually we'll get here.
Well, there's a concept I've always had. You know, the oil companies make $10-20 billion a quarter in profit. In profit. That's after they pay their bills. So let's pretend I have Vince's oil company. And I have gas stations all over.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say right now gas is $2.40 a gallon.
Yeah.
Well, I know I, in theory, could go and sell my gas for $2 a gallon.
Mm-hmm.
So I tell all my gas stations, sell it for $2 a gallon. I'm going to get all this business. I'm going to get it in volume. Everybody else is going to go, wait a minute, what the fuck?
Everyone else probably come to your store and burn the freaking thing down. All your competitors.
They'd have to burn a lot of stations down. But do they, you know, okay, I might not make $10-20 billion a quarter. I might make $5 billion a quarter.
Mm-hmm.
That's still pretty good fucking money.
Yeah, but you have these companies that are used to making $10-20 billion a quarter, and for them, panic would be making $5 billion.
If it was million, that's one thing. We're talking billion.
Yeah, what? But these are people who deal in billions, you know, their entire career.
But I'm just saying, it's like, do they have to charge so much?
No. They're worried about the oil that's still in the ground. You know, how am I going to sell that? How much can I get for that that's still in the ground? You know, they already know they already sold the stuff that's in the stations already.
You put more money in people's pockets, okay? All of a sudden, now I'm going to have more money. It's like, you know what? I'm going to go fly to Florida this weekend. I'm going to take a long weekend.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to spend money in airlines. So now I'm buying airplane fuel, essentially. And when I get down there, you know what? I'm going to rent a fucking car.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
You get it. It's
You'll get it back.
It's the same amount of fuel I think would be spent.
Mm.
You know, back in the day, I mean, you're old enough to remember it, I guess. There used to be a time you used to go, I'm bored. I'm going to go for a ride. And you would just go drive.
Yeah.
No target in mind. Just drive. Go drive for an hour and a half. Because gas was, you know, $1.25 a gallon. It wasn't a big fucking deal.
Remember in the
and cars got less miles to the gallon.
That's true. They broke down quicker.
Yeah. And, you know, but now cars get better gas mileage and everything else. But we're not just going for a ride anymore.
Hybrid cars also. No one's really cruising like that much anymore. I don't know. It all has a way of balancing itself out in the long run, I guess. You know,
I mean, it's like pharmaceutical companies. Everybody complains about the price of pharmaceuticals. Okay, I get it. Do they need to make the money they're making? If an aspirin cost a penny to make, do they need to charge me 35 cents an aspirin?
I know.
Because then you give it to the hospitals, and they're charging you $15 an aspirin.
That's true.
You know?
But they're also selling their drugs cheaper to other countries, and we're paying the higher price. We're basically subsidizing the rest of the world.
Well,
I understand.
I think it's the lawyers with all the lawsuits. Yeah. They got to make money to pay that shit.
I also understand the pharmaceutical. I worked in the industry for a while. I understand that you know it takes at least 14 years from sourcing a drug to bring it to the market. So there's a lot of investment in there, and like I think like what
testing and red tape.
Maybe one in 50 drugs might succeed, and even like out of those,
no, really,
1 in 100 of those might be a blockbuster drug that makes them billions a year. So they gotta, and then
they gotta worry about side effects.
They gotta worry about the
generics. The lawyers did you take this drug?
Oh God, yeah, that's a huge industry also.
Well, the attorneys are Sorry, everyone's fucking this country up.
Mm-hmm.
And what do politicians? What are they? Lawyers.
They're all lawyers.
So.
Yep.
But
it makes it so you can't practice medicine in certain states now because of the malpractice insurance.
I had a friend who's a doctor, and he said his malpractice insurance every month was $100,000.
Jesus God. That's before paying himself and all his employees and everything.
Yep.
Mother of God. What was he, a gynecologist or an obstetrician?
No, he's just a general practitioner.
A general practitioner. That holy shit. So I know obstetricians have like the highest malpractice insurance out of any profession.
Yeah.
So it's hard to find those guys around. But
well, that's why a lot of them were getting out of the business.
Yeah, they all left Jersey.
You know, I mean, at one point I thought about going to school to become a masseuse.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, in my homework, I found out male masseuses have the highest rate of lawsuits. People saying, "Oh, he touched me wrong" or whatever.
That'd be freaky. Yeah.
And it's like, well, fuck that then.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
I'll just be an amateur.
You know, well, yeah, I'll just do it for strippers. You know, but you know, you have to. It's you know, we become such a litigious society.
It's the lawyers always making the money. The class action suits.
I mean, and that's even one of the reasons why these businesses are shut down. Would you like some more?
Oh, I'm good right now. Thank you.
You know, if you owned a business and someone came in and they could prove they got the coronavirus in your facility.
Oh shit!
They don't know who gave it to them. Could have been another patron. It could have been someone that works there.
Now, will you start seeing class action suits based off of that? I'm wondering, with the pandemic, will there be like a whole entire new section of law practice where they're just doing class actions?
Trick is going to be to prove it.
Yeah.
You have to sit there and go, well, I went to this restaurant and they had 5 people with it. How do you know that?
Yeah.
But the problem is, a lot of problems actually, but one of the problems is you own a business. You sell widgets. Someone uses a widget the wrong way and gets hurt.
Mm-hmm.
They use it for a door stop. The door swings open, hurts somebody. The lawyer is going to sue the manufacturer of the door.
Yeah.
Going to sue the widget company.
Yeah.
They're going to sue, you know, the
owner.
WD-40 they sprayed on the hinges.
The owner of the shop who has
Yeah,
it.
the guy who installed the door. Okay, so it's a shotgun effect.
Yeah.
So you now have to lawyer up to defend yourself, and you could find yourself not paying anything or something.
Mm-hmm.
But in the meantime, your insurance goes up because of the lawsuit,
Yep.
and then 2, you had to pay for your attorney to fight this.
And
it's like
years.
And it's like, why? I didn't do anything wrong.
No.
You know, and then people were like, oh, why do I have to pay so much for this? Well,
Oh Jesus! Well, that's the way it is though nowadays. I mean, and then we also, don't get me wrong. When you're in trouble, you want the biggest shark of a lawyer you can get your hands on. Obviously.
yeah,
You know,
because they might have a bigger shark.
yes, a lot of sharks in the water these days.
Oh, it's, you know, I mean, you know, when I watch the TV, it's, especially in the morning when I watch, it seems like every third commercial is an attorney or something about, did you take this pharmaceutical?
Yep, or mesothelioma for asbestos or those.
Yeah,
kind of
whatever.
things.
You know, did you sneeze once? Well,
Cervical mesh.
yeah.
But I was in back in 2015. I was waiting at a light, and as I was waiting, light was green, but traffic was coming on. I couldn't make the turn because the traffic was coming on. It turned yellow, and I was still in the box, and traffic was still coming. And as I was ready to turn, it turned red, so I got to clear the box to get out of there. And a car came speeding through, some young girl, like 16-year-old girl, wanted to beat the light and ran headlong right into me, head-on collision, and totaled my car. And then I've been dealing with this chronic neck pain just ever since then. And my friend is a lawyer. He took the case, and it took a while, but he got the maximum amount he can get from me. So it's like times with that, I can appreciate that, and understand that you really want the best lawyer you can get sometimes. But then you have the frivolous lawsuits where people just sue just to sue.
Yep.
And lawyers will take that up also because even if they win or lose, you're getting paid.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Yeah, like I said, the last accident I was in, drunk driver drove into the back of me.
You've been into a lot of accidents too.
Oh, 12.
God, Jesus.
12 major. I've been in more than 12, but of the 12 major ones, I'm talking like cars that were totaled.
Yeah.
And probably about 7 of those, I got ambulance rides.
Jesus.
And, the last one, none of them have I ever been able to sue to get, like, I could retire or kind of thing.
Yeah.
The last one, she had shitty insurance, and I barely got. I didn't even get enough to really cover my medical expenses.
That's even possible. I mean, I thought that by law they'd have enough on hand for their insurance just to cover that kind of shit. I mean, obviously you can sue the person who owns the car and go after whatever other assets they have, homeowners insurance.
They have nothing.
Nothing. She
She didn't own anything. She had an expired license. She was a deadbeat.
So she doesn't care.
And then, shortly after the case was settled and I got my pittance, her insurance company went belly up. Because it was like, I'm not picking on the general, but I'm going to say, like these ones, like, we'll cover anybody.
Yeah,
it's one of those insurance companies.
The state minimum.
Yep. And that's what she had, and didn't own anything. And,
And you're left holding the bag and a busted neck or a busted back.
Yep. I have the suffering and the pain and the expenses. She's out drinking again, probably.
Yeah.
She missed her last 2 court dates. They had a bench warrant for her. They picked her up. So then they scheduled the next trial for her, and she didn't show up for that. So now they have a warrant, not a bench. Well, it's still a bench warrant. Yeah. She could have just gotten a fine. If she'd showed up, she'd just gotten a fine.
Mm-hmm.
Now she'll actually do jail time.
Some people just don't see the bigger picture.
Well, it's like when you watch that show, Cops. They're going to pull some guy over because the taillight's out, and he runs from the cops. And they go on this high-speed chase for fucking 10 minutes. They pull him out, they get him out with guns and shit like that. What the fuck did you run for? I was afraid.
Or you get the
afraid of what?
Where they even you should never talk to the cop. They're saying just keep your mouth shut. But you have people who basically admit to the entire goddamn world what they did right then and there. And there's it's on camera, and there's no defense now. A lawyer takes this case. Like, what the fuck are you doing talking to the cops? One
of the funniest things I ever saw on Cops. It was in the early days of Cops. I'm surprised it might be on YouTube. I have to look, see if I can find it.
Yeah.
It was, the cop pulls up, it was down south somewhere, pulls up to this trashy looking white woman on one side of the street. She waves a cop down, and he goes, "Did you call?" "Oh, yeah." "Well, what's the problem?" And the woman over there tried, I went to buy crack from her, or went to buy coke, or whatever it was, same thing technically, and she sold me powdered sugar. She ripped me off. He goes, "Wait, let me get this straight. You're calling me because you tried to buy drugs from her and they weren't good drugs?" "Yeah." "All right, stay right here." So he goes over to this black woman sitting on the step with her son. He says, "Ma'am, did you try selling that woman drugs?" She goes, "I told her I don't sell drugs." She says, "I don't sell drugs." She goes, "I'm a prostitute. I don't sell drugs."
Oh,
now, her son's like 10, sitting next to her. She wouldn't take no for an answer. So I just put some stuff in a baggie and sold it to her. I told her, "I'm a prostitute." I'm like, wow, what fucking world is this, man?
It's just making their job so much easier for them.
Well, at that point, you got to go as a cop to sit there and go, "Really? This is my day?"
Oh.
I mean, this is what cops have to deal with. And, my hat goes off to the, cops and the first responders, but it's just like, Jesus Christmas.
I got pulled over by a cop one time, and, I just cracked one out a little bit because I don't want them sticking their nose in my car or anything. And, they said, "How fast you're going?" "How fast was I going?" And then, you put it on them because I'm not going to admit to anything. I'm not going to say I was going over, because once you admit that you've been going over the speed limit, you're already admitting the guilt. And then he just turns that into "You smoking marijuana in there?" "Yeah, I don't smoke marijuana." "I smell marijuana. Let me search your car." I said, "Do you have a warrant?" He's like, "Oh, I don't need a warrant." He cited this PA Supreme Court case, which actually is correct. They don't need, if they suspect, if they have a reasonable suspicion.
Reasonable cause.
Yeah. I have no priors. I have nothing. Maybe I have a few speeding tickets back in the day. I don't even speed anymore. But he got in my car and he tore it apart. And then his buddy came behind him, because they always do them in pairs. He's like, "What is he? What is he saying? He smells drugs? What's going on? Why is he messing with you?" I said, "Buddy, I know what you're doing. I'm not going to talk to you until your friend's done. So I'm just going to wait here. We're going to sit here in silence, and your friend's not going to find anything. He's going to go through my car, not find anything, and then I'm going to leave." "Oh, okay." He goes through, and he's still, "Okay, I thought I smelled drugs. You sure you don't have any drugs on you?" I'm like, "Can I leave? Can I leave? Can I leave?" It's just keep your mouth shut and just ask him, can I leave? Can I leave? That's all you got to do, basically. Because if you don't have anything, don't admit to anything, obviously, and they're going to tear through your car. "Well, I'm going to get the dogs out here." Get the fucking dogs. I don't care. You're wasting my fucking time. Just hurry this shit up. And just, okay, fine, you can go. But it's just like that, I know they're there to serve and protect and all that kind of bullshit, but sometimes they're just looking for, an easy mark just to, to write up some sort of, just to make their quota.
Yeah.
And like,
I mean, I've only gotten pulled over once. I have no speeding tickets, and we were going to Walmart. A buddy of mine, we went to go buy a new hard drive. I was helping clean up his computer. It was late at night. We're driving down the road to the Walmart to get a new hard drive for him, and stopped at a red light, sitting there, first car, and I see a cop pull up to the other, opposing. So my light turns green. I start through it, and all of a sudden the cop pulls up behind me. I pull over. What the fuck? Wasn't doing anything. Didn't speed. Didn't run the red light. This young cop comes up. I think it was his first day with a badge. And flashlight. And I got all these, these bright cop lights.
They like putting a flashlight right in your face. Don't they?
And he's like, "Can I see your driver's license, registration?" Sure. Here. Said, "What'd I do?" And he goes, "Your registration lights are out." And then he walks back to his car. And I'm looking to my buddy, and I'm like, "What the fuck are registration lights?"
Registration lights are out.
And he goes, "I don't know. So, maybe because I don't have registration lights. I don't know." So he comes back right now. In the meantime, as I'm sitting there, I'm watching cars go by with one headlight, one brake light, no brake lights.
Yeah.
It's like 11 o'clock at night. My cop comes back up and he hands me my stuff. He's only going to give you a warning, and since you're out of, you're not from this town, he says, just get it fixed in 10 days, go to your local police, have them sign it, and then mail it back to us. I'm like, fine. What the hell are registration lights? The lights over your license plate.
Seriously?
I'm like, that's what I said. I said, really? The lights over my license plate are burned out, so you're going to pull me over? He goes, yeah, get it fixed.
Oh,
so
man.
The next day, I went, bought a light, changed it, went to my local police department, went to the desk, said, I need an officer to come out. I have a warning here. I need to get him to verify that I fixed it. The cop comes out to my car, and I hand it to him. He looks at it, and he goes, you're fucking kidding me, right? And I said, no, I wish I was kidding you. I said, it was his first day with a badge, I think. And he goes, Jesus Christ, who the hell pulls anyone over for registration lights? And it isn't like I have a fast car, a sports car, a loud car, anything. It was a Dodge Caliber station wagon thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything like, it's like, oh, that's known to be a drug vehicle, or, it's like, yeah. So I always make a joke whenever I go through this town. I said, I better behave because I'm a wanted man in this town. There's Vince with the damn registration light guy, It's like, yeah, to only have one headlight. That's a real safety hazard. That's not a safety hazard.
I've seen
no brake lights.
With one headlight.
Yeah, that's not a safety. Registration light, safety fucking hazard. Pull him the fuck over.
I would have been, if I were you, I would have been just driving to that town late at 11 o'clock at night over and over again with the registration light fixed. Just looking for the cops and smile at them as I'm going by and wave.
What he didn't realize is we were drinking pretty heavily before that, but we were smoking cigars, so he couldn't smell the booze on our breath. He just got these whiffs of cigar coming out. So so that's my one cop story. It's like, really?
You're a goddamn outlaw.
Yeah, I'm a fugitive. So, but anyway, so. Well, we'll wrap this bad boy up. We got an hour and 42 minutes into the show.
Oh, Jesus Christ, the time goes by so fast.
Yeah. So, again, our message is to everyone, please stay safe.
Social distancing.
Yeah, social distancing.
Wash your hands. Don't touch your face.
If you have elderly people, that you can go out and get stuff for them so they don't have to get out.
Yeah. Maybe leave it on their porch.
Use some common sense with everything until we know what the hell's going on. And please be kind to your fellow man.
We'll get through this.
We're a strong country. We can do it. We're strong people. Been through a lot.
Yep.
Like the one thing I've been reading is like our grandparents were asked to go to war to save the world from, Nazis. You're being asked to stay home. We can do that.
Absolutely.
We might be taking a small hit financially here. It'll all come back. Maybe, hopefully, for everyone's sake, it'll come back even bigger and stronger than it was.
I imagine it will.
So, please stay safe. Be creative with the time. Clean your house. Work out.
Play the guitar.
Yeah, do something. Spend time with your kids. Maybe you don't get enough time to do that. Maybe actually sit down and talk to your kids. Have a home-cooked meal. Have everyone sit at the table.
There you go.
It's something we've gotten away from. And tell your kids to put the fucking phones down. You know, social media is like, hey, be social. Learn how to talk. How to hold a conversation.
Yeah.
You know, teach your kids how to do things around the house. You know, and clean their rooms. Most kids need to do that shit. But whatever. Be safe, and hopefully we'll be talking to you next week.
Take care.
See ya.